Right, welcome back to the 12th Man, the regular Thursday night Roadshow on at 7:30pm every week. If you're unfamiliar with the format of the show, we look at all the latest Ipswich Town news and then look ahead to the weekend's fixtures. And of course, this weekend we have got... Who have we got at home? Oxford. Always forget, I've put Burton Albion here, so obviously haven't...
They do play in yellow, to be fair.
Yeah, they do play in yellow, so yeah, got away with that. Tonight, we've got a slightly wounded 12th man himself, Mark Beck. How you doing, mate, firstly?
Bit groggy, mate. Bit groggy.
Sound like Kermit the Frog, buddy, but I thought I was bad, but you sound terrible, mate. And obviously, seasoned Armchair Andy Rutter beside me. How you feeling, mate?
All good. Nice little beer.
Yeah,
ready to go.
You're gonna have to get another round in a minute, mate. Tonight we're here at Shamrock in the centre of Ipswich Town. And being an Irish bar, obviously they're gearing up for St Paddy's Day, a 5-day weekend in store, in which they have a whole host of festivities and live shows stretching from Friday the 13th all the way through to Tuesday the 17th of March. Make sure you check out the socials and get down here. It's also free entry throughout the whole weekend. So if you want to celebrate Paddy's Day in style, you've got to come down here now. Obviously, the only Irish bar left in Ipswich, as far as I'm aware.
Halberton?
No, not anymore. That used to be McGuinness, it's not anymore.
Well, that's why I called it a Halbert, but I thought it was still an Irish.
It's actually the Halbert. I'll correct you there. Halbert. That must be a new pub around here.
Next door.
Next door, yeah. Boys, news. Let's go through the quick formalities quickly. Yeah. So today's Tuesday, the channel reached 300,000 views and 2,500 subs. So thanks a lot to everyone. Incredible news for us, and we're just going to keep ploughing on. You know, that's all we've got to say about that one. Before we crack on tonight, we've got to make sure that you look at the live comments and comment where you can. Keep up to date with all of the convos in the live comments. There's some interesting ones. Don't miss out. And just keep up with it. But tonight we'll start as we mean to go on. So, boys, firstly, Ipswich Women's Cup run sadly come to an end this Sunday. They were romped 10-0 by current cup holders and Premier League table toppers Manchester City. City, who field a strong side, featured 10 full senior internationals, including England captains Steph Houghton, Georgia Stanway and Demi Stokes. Our women should hold their heads up high after making history this season, putting the club in the shop window in terms of talent on the women's stage, and it's certainly opened up everyone's eyes to Ipswich Town FC going forward in the women's game. A huge congratulations to not only Joe Sheehan, Paige Shorten and the entire squad, but to everyone who works tirelessly to make sure this team performs to its optimum best. We've had the pleasure of working with you over the last 2 years. The next two look very promising. Well done. That's all I've got to say. Just keep your heads high. We've got Norwich tomorrow, so hopefully by the time this is aired, we've battered them as well. Yeah, easy game, innit?
Easy game if we go off last time. No competition. So if the performance they put in, I know they lost 10-0, but I think they impressed. I think they actually put up a good fight considering the golfing divisions, and they're coming against a professional team when these girls are, this is just their passion, really. Yeah. It's not their profession.
Exactly. And I was speaking to Lindsay Cooper, who, funny enough, we work in the same place today, and we were talking about the range of quality that these girls had, and we're talking, they're getting paid, healthy wages a year to play football professionally. That's all they need to worry about. Our girls, some haven't even finished school, some of them work full time. It's their second job, really. But in terms of the platform they made it to the biggest one, didn't they?
Oh yeah, and give them all the credit they deserve. And I mean, it had to unfortunately come to an end at some point. But I mean, Man City, one of the best teams out there in women's and men's football, and although it was a big defeat, it sounds like they played well, and they should be proud of how far they got. Yeah, and
if you had to choose anybody to lose against, would have been Man City, wouldn't it? In any stage of the cup,
probably going to go on to win it like they did last season. So I mean, it's not a bad feat at all.
Yeah, definitely, 100% agree. So boys, let's get back onto the formalities. The men's side and the club today have released footage of KVY training. Hasn't played since Southend away back in October. Will he be looking to add to his 9 appearances for Ipswich Town this season, Mark?
Oh, when I saw that video, it's like if I had a child, it's like seeing your child take his first steps again. It's just, I couldn't believe it. He's actually going to be back. He's such a difference maker. As much as he's seen as a defender, he's arguably probably our best attacking threat out wide. Guion Edwards has done all right at fullback. Donasian again, but they pale in comparison to KVY.
Yeah. That's fair.
If we're going to continue with this system, he's the perfect man to be on the right-hand side to complement Luke Garbutt on the left. You look at some of the best teams in the world. Fullbacks are key to how they play. Liverpool specifically,
especially in the modern game, fullback is how people play nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I'd say our fullbacks are better than the ones at Liverpool anyway. So
clearly, mate, clearly.
It'd be great to see him back before the end of the season, because we've got some tough ties to come up, and maybe it's that extra threat that we need where we're struggling.
He proved to be the difference, didn't he? And that's definitely what we need.
No doubt. How often have we looked back at the last few seasons and we haven't had really on the right hand side anyone offering an attacking threat. Chambers had to fill in there for a number of years. Before that, it was Carlos Edwards doing what Guion is doing, his namesake, filling in, doing a good job. But KVY is sort of a good blend of both. We've seen he can defend well, but he's a silky baller, certified baller, as I said, and he's going to be back.
You've been missing that, haven't you? What do you make of it all, mate?
I mean, how can I top that? But yeah, we missed him, really missed him. And I mean, if we won every game that we've got, or left all we're not to lose, and we pick up some wins as well, it's not too late to get second. I'm still a firm believer of that.
Yeah. We're going to get onto that in a little while, but people
coming into form as well.
Yeah.
I think next point is we're going to mention a player.
Yeah, well, how fitting that we're sitting in an Irish bar right now, that we come talk about Judge. Well, we wouldn't be able to see him if he was, mate. But Judge becomes the executioner against Burton this weekend, assisting one and scoring twice. What a performance. That's all I can say. How good was Judge this weekend?
Really good. I mean, that was the Judge we signed back last season, and I mean, it's really interesting because some of his best performances were when we weren't under pressure and we'd already been relegated, and it kind of feels like that again. I mean, we're not leading the pack, and his performances have picked up, so hopefully he can kick on.
Could this Alan Judge be the vocal point we've been lacking recently?
It's frustrating as much as it is good for the side, because the amount I've been on the 12th man alone preaching how good the squad is, I feel the squad is the best squad.
31st episode of the 12th man tonight, boys.
I've been on quite a few since.
You've made 27 of them.
That's pretty good. But that's the frustrating thing. The quality is there, and not just judged from other players who've seen it. It's just we need to see it more.
Yeah.
Number 10, no doubt, is his best position, playing just behind the strikers. But again, it's horses for courses. I think as much as we've seen Judge in this good reign of form, there's other games, Tranmere in particular, where he was playing in that position. It probably wasn't his best game. Bishop came on in the same role and changed the game. It's up to the players really to when they are given their opportunity to take it.
How it goes sometimes, though. Yeah. That is how it goes sometimes. I mean, and Lambert made the sub, and it obviously paid off.
Yeah, I'll just pick up on the point you just said there. It's how it goes. From game to game, you get a different player who stood out, and that's good for us because what that does, it diverts the attention away from the other players. And what I found was increasingly good against Burton at the weekend is that they were all marking Garbutt out of the game, even though he hasn't played for 4 or 5 games. Garbutt wasn't doing anything with the ball, yet everyone on the other side of the pitch was benefiting from him being marked. So that's what you've got to look at. Now, maybe next game, Judge is the one who gets marked, but somebody else will be available.
But that's what good teams do. Yeah. Good teams have players that are that threatening, that teams want to concentrate so much on them, they're leaving gaps open for the other qualities to sneak in the back and put it in.
Yeah.
And that's what happened on Saturday.
Yeah, and I mean, great performance. We won't get too much into the formalities of the result tonight, but it was good. It was slow at the start. We went 1-0 down. I'd probably say we caught napping, but I wouldn't like to blame anyone for that. But after that, consistent performance. Lucky to go 2-1 up just before half time, I thought.
Perfect time.
Perfect timing to go 2-1 up. You're right. And come out second half, and we were perfect. So I've got no problems with that at all. Alan Judge, like we said, standout player. Obviously, we'll mention Kayden Jackson in a minute, but on Saturday, obviously, Ed Sheeran was in attendance again this weekend, and he brought a Japanese rock band with him.
Invested.
One OK Rock, apparently they're called. sold more than 3 million records worldwide. I mean, that's not a lot in today's day and age, but is Sheeran looking to bring in overseas investors, or
they could raid the piggy banks and club together and buy the club?
I mean, could we have rock stars in charge of the club soon, mate? You'd be happy with that one?
No, please no. It's never going to happen. The last thing we want is another person who only seems to care about the club when it matters in charge of the club. So
the point I bring up with this is that technically, by inviting those guys over to the game at the weekend, kind of diverts the eyes of many people from that corner of the world are looking towards Ipswich Town. They may not have known before, but one of the most popular bands in their country is at a game.
I saw one of them posted a picture of Town shirt on Instagram, and he's got like 3 million followers. Yeah. And he just said, "Oh, I love Ipswich Town now." Yeah, and I was like, "I've never heard. I don't know who you are." Yeah. But it's a bit like when Ed posted a picture of the Divide Town shirts, and you're getting people from Argentina and all over. Yeah. Comments saying, "Oh my God, I love it."
It's kind of indecent exposure, but in a good way. Yeah, I mean, 3 million pairs of eyes that not necessarily seen that before. Mike, you've got to agree from that point of view. That's good for Ipswich Town.
Nah, not for me, mate.
Oh God, we won't get a comment out of him, will we? The boys, Kayden Jackson scored his 10th and 11th goal of the season on Saturday, and despite his critics, has been involved in 22 goals this season, delivering 11 and scoring 11. Sometimes overlooked as a striker, but his contribution is key to any success Town will achieve this season. He's had a hand in 49% of the goals Ipswich have scored this season. So let's give Kayden Jackson some praise. Doesn't he deserve it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that there's obviously limitations to his game, but ultimately what we have seen from him has been very good. He's I can think of quite a few goals where he's been there just to pick up pieces. We've had a shot rebound off the keeper, or deflection, and he's been there to pick up the pieces. His pace is always a threat. He's not always the best at holding his line, but when he can, he does. He does do it well.
You go back there. We were saying about holding the line. Rotherham away 11 times offside in the first half.
It's another one of these players that I said with Judge. He's got the capability to do it. We haven't seen it enough. Now we're in the crunch period. We can't. We can get away with it in sort of November, October. A few sort of players not picking up the slack. But now we're in the in the final embers of the season. That's when we really need to sort of see everyone pull together and actually pull their form in at the right time.
Yeah. Do you think he often gets overlooked because of Norwood?
Yeah, I think he does, but also it'd be interesting to see what his shot conversion rate is, because I can think of he's probably had well over 100 shots this season, and he's only scored 10% of them.
Door, rocket launcher kind of stuff, or?
But give him his praise. He's firing at the moment, and that's what we need.
But he's not only firing; he's putting it on a plate for other people as well, and that's what we got to put in. He also got 2 goals and an assist on Saturday. But we're saying Alan Judge was the main performer. Did Alan Judge pull any more strings than what Kane Jackson did?
I think maybe it's because we're so used to recently not seeing it from Judge. Yeah. That it's suddenly, oh my God, where did that come from, sort of thing. We need more of that. Jackson's been kind of a bit like a silent assassin. Yeah. This season, and really chipped in. I
think he does well in that position. I think he benefits from being in the shadow of maybe a Norwood.
Yeah. And another player, I think Will Keane deserves a bit of credit. From what I've seen, I wasn't at the game Saturday. I managed to pull myself out of bed for this. In your armchair? I was in my armchair. Me and Andy swapped roles, hence the player ratings. Sorry about the 0.5 ratings. It won't happen again.
Who got a 0.5?
No, nobody should get a 0.5. You got to nail your colours. You got to nail your colours to the mast, mate.
I didn't want to give him a 9. That's the problem.
You had East Anglian Daily Times on strings for that, mate. I had.
But no, from what I saw, Will Keane was pre-assisting. Putting players in position to actually create chances. The first goal was from a Will Keane pass. Again, I think the final goal, Jackson dallied a little bit, but he was Will Keane initially found him and played him through. Keane's another player who, again, probably is in the shadow of Norwood, who's again actually doing some good work for us.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. One point I want to pick up from the weekend is obviously Freddie Sears came on, converted from left wing back at AFC Wimbledon to striker against Burton at the weekend, but seemed to miss an absolute sitter of a pass of Kayden Jackson for a hat-trick on Saturday.
Yeah.
Even though Kayden had options, that was probably his easiest chance.
Yeah, I was about to say that. And it shows that, he's not lacking confidence, is he?
No.
If he's going to back himself after being a year out and not scored since he's been back. And, if I was Jackson, I'd be furious. Someone who's not had much game time because of an injury, not squaring it for your hat-trick.
Do you think Kayden Jackson is one of those players that seems to, like you say, work in the shadows? Do you think he's a bit shy to say words sometimes? I know Lou always
He didn't look at
Lou always goes on about him being a player who won his contract in a competition, which is fair, it's true. But do you think he has a lot of respect for other players? Maybe too much respect sometimes?
I think we have quite a frail bunch of players. I think we've seen a lot of times when the going gets tough, the players get going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's one of many. And I don't know what it is, if it's just we've just been unlucky and we've got that, or it's the mentality of the club. But he's certainly not the only one who maybe lacks that confidence sometimes. How you get around that, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one, really.
He should be confident. He's scoring goals, he's setting up goals. To be honest, all in all, the best player this season. I think there was a poll earlier on in the season who would be the most effective player. And we're answering our own questions now. It's Kayden Jackson. And 49% of goals down to him this season. You can't shy away from that. He is absolutely our best player.
It's like Waghorn. When we had Waghorn, it's sort of Waghorn numbers.
Yeah.
They're not going to compare the two players because obviously one's at a high level.
Yeah, they're different players, and one is completely different gravy.
If you look, we had Joe Garner, who's very similar to Norwood.
Yeah.
Look at the goal ratios between the two. I know it's a little bit closer this time around, but Jackson and Norwood is very similar to Waghorn and Garner. One's maybe not been as effective as perhaps we'd have liked to have seen, and the others, well, Waghorn was hardly quiet. I think when he first started that season, I think every shot he scored in the sort of opening 6 week of the season went in. Moise Jackson was the same, but
well, there's a reason why these players are at this level. They're good, but they're not reliable or consistent.
It's League One in general.
And we can't forget, most of our players have played Championship football probably too early on in their career. This League One journey, whatever you want to call it, is probably good for them. But I go to a player who's not played League One football for a long time, not since he was a youngster, and that's James Norwood, he's been dropped once again this season. Do you agree now more than ever it looks like there may be an issue between Norwood and Lambert? Body language doesn't suggest so, but however telling the substitutes were on Saturday, it would suggest that the striker's going for a difficult period. I thought that we needed a goal in the first half desperately, just before we scored maybe the second goal before half time, and I thought Norwood's got to come on at half time surely. Striker is responsible for scoring the first goal on 7 occasions this season, equal top goal scorer, with Kane Jackson having played 516 minutes less.
When we were 3-1 up, I was kind of expecting him to come on because the game was free. It was free flowing for us. We could have scored so many. So I thought, Lambert said, he's low on confidence. Why not chuck him on? He might get a goal or two, and it'll really pick him up. But he just didn't. So after saying 1 week that he's really low on confidence, then benching him. I don't know. It's just a really strange one.
Would have been a perfect game for him to come on, having
I think he probably could have got a goal or two in the second half because we were all over him.
Clough came out after the game and said they had a makeshift back four, full of midfielders. Goalkeeper was injured. If you've done your homework, you would have known Norwood would have come on and would have scored in that game, wouldn't you? Thought?
Yeah, it's. You would have think, it's weird the comments come out saying he's low on confidence. I didn't expect him to start because of it. I thought he would. The body language of him coming off at Wimbledon, there was times where you could see it was frustrating. There's the odd there's a completely wayward pass I can think of.
But let's be fair, Wimbledon was his worst performance of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah. As for his relationship with Lambert, I don't know. I think we've had this discussion many times. I think he's gone from being the big fish in a relatively small pond in Tranmere. The system was built around him. and rightly so. He's clearly got ability to score goals, given the right service. Now he's more of a cog in a system.
He thrives off of being the main player, doesn't he? I mean, if we look back at the start, he had all these goal gifts and everything, celebrating him as a person, but that's died off.
And I think it might be harsh of me to say this, but I've said it to the boys, I've said it to you guys the other day. I feel he's a player of limited ability in terms of an actual footballer. A goal scorer, can be a great goal scorer, and many players have made a career out of it. Troy Deeney, Glenn Murray, Ricky Lambert, Billy Sharp. There's players who, I think maybe that's where he needs to sort of hone his game. Maybe just become that absolutely clinical striker who comes on in the clutch moments when we need him. Does that mean he should start more games? Perhaps. There is games where these players do start games, Deeney and Murray, but now they do get phased out.
They're in their late 30s, and I mean, I was Norwood, late 20s, 28, 29.
28, 29's come to the echelons of his career, I'd say, and to be honest, Mark's got a point there. He needs to be converting himself into a striker that become useful to a team that are technically above his remit, I would say now. I don't think it's going to be a championship. What, you think James Norwood's a championship striker here?
Well, no, we're not in the championship.
No, but that's why we're aspiring to be there.
Yeah, but
would you argue that Kayden Jackson's a championship striker, having made 11 goals, 11 assists this season? 49% of goals are down to that bloke.
No, I wouldn't.
He's done more than James Norwood.
I'd say neither of them are championship players. I say we're in League One. We're 7th in League One. Yeah. I mean, if we're flying and we were top by how many points and we're scoring goals fine, I'd tell you probably.
But we were top 3.5 weeks ago. I know you don't like halves, but we were.
I know, but we haven't been consistently top, have we?
Well, we were consistently top at the start of the season. I hate to say it, Andy. Andy, this club has dropped like a stone over recent weeks, but we have been top of the league virtually the most of this season.
That's the key sort of difference. Is okay. No, I know Norwood's only just joined us, but there's obviously links between Jackson and Peterborough. Yeah. They're a club who obviously want to go up as well, be a championship club. They clearly still hope. I only think that link was there because of any interest in Tony. Yeah. If Tony would have gone, I think maybe that would have been more of a stronger interest. But there's not some them links in Norwood. But again, like I was just saying, he is of limited ability, but many players have made a career out of that. Yeah. And again, if you've got a Will Keane and a Jackson starting, if he comes on, has one shot and he flies in, job done. That's all he's there to do. That's what you want him to do, and you can make a career out of that easily.
I mean, the questions were surrounding Norwood, but we got back on the Jackson there again. Do you think that those people that were saying, sell him back in January to Peterborough might be eating their words now?
I mean, I don't think there was ever anything in it. Peterborough done a good bit of business there with keeping Tony. I think they said, stay with us now, you can leave at the end of the season, won't stand your way. And he's been loyal to them, and I mean, I don't think we'd ever sell to Peterborough. Why would we sell to Peterborough?
Yeah, no, we don't like them, do we?
I mean, it's just a bit of a strange one. It's like selling to Cole U. I mean, it's
a sideways or backwards move in your career, technically, isn't it? Yeah. Because Peterborough, what you'd argue, is a side that always seem to bottle it in the playoffs. I mean, whether they do it or not this year remains to be seen. But even if they do make up, they just come back down, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say it. They're like, I hate to say it, but they're a bit of a BTEC Norwich. Norwich float between Championship, Premier League. Yeah. They do a bit of Championship, League One, but not even to that extreme.
Peterborough Derby. They're Derby of League One at the minute. That they're always, they make some smart moves, but it never seems to pay off in the end. I think it's probably been their best team for a while. Yeah. It'll be their best chance, and again, if they don't reach it, if I was a fan of their club, I'd start to be getting a little bit frustrated because the amount of times they've been in this position where it's been so close, but yet so far.
You'd argue players like Frankie Kent, for example, Mo Isa, Dembele maybe even, and Tony are all going to move on in the summer, as well as Maddison, who seems to get his foot under the table at Hull,
and Smodic.
And Smodic as well, who's not going to be there.
Big fan of the bridge, yes.
I mean, yeah, big fan of the bridge. they're going to have to sell up at some point, aren't they? But I'd say if they don't make anything this season, they'll just keep going like they've always been. And their scouting's brilliant. I absolutely admire it, but not the kind of player we want to bring into our club. I disagree. We talked about Symonds. He's maybe a game winner, someone who we would have been interested in. But in terms of the players that they bring in, a lot of time is invested in them. Just
a lot of money,
a hell of a lot of money, and the time and money we haven't got to put into our squad. Anyway, let's move on to some more news. Obviously, Josh Earl made his first home start at Portman Road this weekend in a 2 and a bit games in which we've seen him. What do we make of the player? So firstly, he spent his entire career in the Championship until this season when he joined Bolton and then us on loan. Very assured left back, won't make a stray pass, which we're so accustomed to seeing, stray passes from left back. In realistic terms, he's a breath of fresh air, I would say, at left back. Andy, you were obviously there on Saturday. Mark, you would have seen him at Sunderland briefly, and then you may have seen him at Wimbledon had you been able to see over the dugout. So let's go to you, Andy, about this one.
I mean, I'm seen him for the last 2 games. The only guy I've seen is Zorro left back. But Zorro he's assured, and he was definitely very confident picking the ball up at the back.
He makes it a 100% pass, doesn't he? He doesn't take chances, which is nice, I'd say, in some aspects.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a good eye for a pass going forward, but if the pass isn't on, he's not afraid to go back, and we've seen that, especially on Saturday. So, I mean, I think it was a good game for him, and I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Garber and KVY, and just see where he fits in, really.
Yeah, it's good. I liked
extra competition.
I liked Earl coming into the squad, and like you say, competition, but I liked him coming in. Because essentially that says, Garbutt, you got freeway. You can push yourself up, mate. Go a bit further. Try and do a bit more. I mean, we're welcoming that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think like we said on Tuesday, this time last week, I don't think he was ever brought in to be a left back. I think actually seeing him come in as a centre half gave us a bit more balance. Wolfenden, top calibre player, arguably Slim Shady. He's got his Romanian called up as well for 94 USA World Cup. But no, he as good as he was. He's a right-sided player, and to bring someone in on the left, it's handy actually having someone who's had experience at left back because they're used to whipping balls into the box. I was a bit surprised to see Wilson come out. He's not had he's had a couple of, I wouldn't say iffy, but iffy moments in games. But he's actually been solid. I quite like his role as just an absolute brick shit house at the back. Just doesn't take no prisoners. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Sometimes we've been lucky, I think, to get away with not giving away a penalty. But no, it's good. To have that balance, to have a left-sided player playing left back. There was talk about a certain New Zealand international player potentially coming back, but
Rory Fallon.
Yeah, Rory Fallon is going to come back and play left side of centre half. But no, I think to have someone there who's used to having a little bit of attacking in their game, it actually suits our system a little bit well. I fully expect him, form dependent, to actually keep that role for a long future.
I'd completely back that, and I think he's got a career in front of him. It's easy to see where a player's going if they show it in certain situations, and he's done more in 2 games, and I hate to say it because I'm a big fan of Kenlock than Kenlock's done in all the games he's played this season.
Just a bit harsh.
Go on.
A bit harsh. I think Kenlock has had some decent performances. And
I'm saying he's more assured than Kenlock, though. You've got to agree there.
Yeah, I would agree. But in terms of performances, give him a chance, and we'll see at the end of the season.
I like Kenlock. I do like him. I like what he brings to the squad.
Straight up against Peterborough to see, because we'd seen him at Exeter. Yes, calibre of opposition is completely different, but he actually looked. We thought, Christ, he's actually hungry to actually get a chance. Arguably the best player on the day. And then he came in at Peterborough and he got a tour new arsehole, really, didn't he?
He did. But that's enough about Kenlock anyway. We've got to push on. We've got about 13 minutes left of this one, boys. So I want to talk about the promotion race just briefly. Town currently have the worst record out of anyone in the current top 10, with with only one win in the last 5 games. Pompey, Sunderland, Wycombe, Coventry and Peterborough have all recorded 4 wins in the last 5. However, Town still sit only 5 points off automatic promotion, with Pompey and Coventry to meet us at Portman Road. I've got 3 questions, and how you answer this is fine, because we do need to get into the game at the weekend against Oxford. So question 1 of 3 is it realistic to suggest our automatic promotion temps are off, as suggested by Freddie Sears? Question 2, with 2 teams in the top 6 to play at Portman Road, you say there's a realistic chance of our points deficit being made up. And question 3, say Town finish in the playoffs, do you think we have enough in the locker to realistically compete? Still, we've only beat 2 teams in the whole of the top 10. That's Fleetwood and Gillingham in their own back garden. So, be mindful of all 3 of those questions and just answer generally and what you think about that.
I mean, what's to say we can't win the next 5 now, and all of them lot doing what we've done over the last 5 and drawing a few, losing a couple here and there, and we're right back in the mix. We could be straight back up to the top or second. So there's no, I mean, Sears probably come out and said that with a bit of experience, probably hopefully try and take a bit of pressure off, get the team playing. And I can't see why we still can't be up there.
No, straight back in the Alhu mixer. Yeah, you're right. If we do get some points on, mate, we'll be right back in there. Mark, what do you make of it?
It's a hard one because it's such a fucking shit division, isn't it? Like literally, like I said, look,
it's painfully awkward, isn't it?
It's, like I said a few weeks ago, teams can be fucking amazing and they're equally as shit from week to week. You look at Blackpool, arguably flying, they're 15th now and just sacked their manager. There's teams that are playing in the next few games. Oxford at the weekend, Bristol Rovers, Blackpool as mentioned, all in the playoffs at the same time when we're at the top of the league. They're now nowhere, absolutely nowhere. So there's no reason why we can't get in there. It's just, it's taking it week to week as much as you can't take any more than one game at a time. Just focus on the game in hand and actually just try and, all we've got to do is worry about ourselves, win as many games as we can, try not to drop any points. Maybe, there might be a few tough, we've only got 4 away games. I think Doncaster's probably our toughest away game. That's probably the only game I'd see us maybe dropping points away from home, or where we'd look, okay, we maybe
the last one of the season, ironically.
Yeah, and the rest at home, we've seen enough good form at home, but we've also seen enough disappointment form at home. It's just whatever reigns true on the day, really.
Yeah, I mean, you summarise it well there, lads, and we now need to look at Saturday. Oxford United come down to Portman Road in probably the first time since, dare I say, 94, 93, 94.
Before my time.
Maybe, yeah, before you. Yeah. I mean, I would have been about 2 years old the last time they played at Portman Road.
A wee star on my parents' eyes.
You're just a twinkle in your dad's eye, weren't you? Oxford travelled down to Portman Road with only 1 win in 8, and ironically, Town have already played them in that period. But let's be honest with you, boys, the torrential wind and rain on that night basically set out the result, didn't it? Done us in.
Completely. Yeah, was it?
Hominy pie. You two queued for that pie, and the wind was so heavy it blew your fork away, didn't it?
I'm still looking for that fork.
With the drainage hat.
Yeah, that was fucking horrendous. But yeah, crazy game, wasn't it? Absolutely
weirdest away day I've ever been to, I think. This is a team, boys, that recorded 15 wins from their first 18 games this season. It's just crazy.
Can you just go back to me?
Go on.
No. I wasn't finished, actually. I was going to say, the weather just completely done us in. We started off really well, and I was thinking, we're going to have these on toast. And we could have done, but it's just completely disruptive from the weather and the rain. So, I mean, don't see why we can't beat him at our place.
I know, and that's what I'm going to get on to now. So, obviously, a team with character, no doubt. Top goal scorer is James Henry. He's made, majority of his career has operated as an attacking midfielder. You'd argue right wing most of the time. They last recorded an away win against AFC Wimbledon at the end of December. However, we know that's a tough place to go. Ironically, they're playing Wimbledon again tonight.
Did you ever think you'd say that?
And I didn't think I'd say that.
Tough place to go.
Tough place to go. Never thought I'd say that.
Good point, tough place to go.
Good point, tough place to go. Yeah, sound like Lambert, don't I? Boys, let's firstly talk about Carl Robinson. Always considered him as a bitter person, bitter manager. Whenever we seem to have played his teams, he's always got something to say afterwards. But that night, they definitely didn't want to play us, did they?
Oh no, they were.
No, I think it'd been interesting to see if the shoe was on the other foot, because we could see from the second half how much the conditions were, as much as they died down a little bit, how much they were affecting. But no, they didn't look up for it at all. And again, I think like us, they've gone through a tough spell. Unfortunately for them, they've lost two of their best players, Fosu and Baptiste, sodded off to Brentford. And again, this is luckily we didn't lose anyone major in the window, which hasn't disrupted our team really. But no, it's just one of them teams. We've got many to come who you think, Christ, on their day they could beat us, but we've just got to hope that we're on our day and we can be better. It's frustrating. I was fucking fuming to miss that game on Saturday, because I travelled 800 miles to them bloody bastards, and they didn't look like they were going to score in a month of Sundays. Then the fuckers going to score 4.
Can you not come this Saturday?
Don't bother coming anymore, mate. Can you tear up your season ticket, please?
We'll all chip in, get you a pass where I follow, and start home in your armchair, son.
I might follow Hayden's lead, and I'm just going to fucking run on the pitch next game, and there you go, sorted. It's sorted.
You won't get banned, mate, so you'll be fine.
We're about to see you.
I mean,
there's a tree on the pitch.
There's a tree on the pitch, yeah. There's a twig, fly over, tumbleweed. Boys, do we consider Oxford as playoff contenders still? I mean, dropped to 11th, but very much if you get three or four wins, you're back in there.
I mean, are we even considered playoff contenders? Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be, to be honest, because we can't beat anyone in the top 10, as we've already said. But yeah, they've been there and thereabouts, haven't they? So. I still expect a win though on Saturday, to be honest.
Liverpool just conceded the Champions League, so we're all stunned. But that was definitely offside. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, that was it, mate.
All right, yeah. So if we could take one player from Oxford right now, who would it be? Off the top of your head, Mark.
I think he's already gone. Probably would have been Fosu or Shannon Baptiste. They've kind of been gutted. Probably two of their best midfielders have gone. Henry's a good player, good set piece taker. I think we probably took their best player in the summer, to be honest.
Yeah.
Luke Garber's been, in the words of Harry Redknapp and yourself, a breath of fresh air for us.
I mean, they said he was good, but I didn't imagine him to be as good as he's been.
I still can recall that free kick against Tranmere. It was beautiful, absolutely fantastic free kick. Jimmy Juan-esque.
Better than Jimmy Juan, mate, I can tell you that right now. Haven't seen that Jimmy Juan goal with my own eyes, I can tell you now. Garbutt's one was 10 times more ferocious. Town recorded their third 4-1 scoreline at Port Road on Saturday. Being at home, could they continue a winning streak against Oxford, Andy?
Yeah, simple as that.
Nice one.
I mean, last time we had, was it a third or fourth 4-1 this season?
Yeah.
We went up as champions. I don't think it's going to happen this time, but
That's a strong statement from Andy there. Another thing picked up on at the weekend, Teddy Bishop played a key part at coming on from the bench, showing Burton what he can do. Do you think Teddy will have the chance to impress at some point this season, bearing in mind we are looking for promotion?
There's plenty of teams that we've come up against where they've been, fairly physical, and maybe we need to get the ball down a little bit more and play through them. I think Tranmere is an example of that, where the long ball game wasn't working so much. We brought Teddy on, completely changed the game. But it's down to Lambert to make the changes at the right time. I picked the right players for the game. He won't get it right all the time, and he obviously hasn't at this season. But there'll be times where it's maybe taking that punt, that gamble to bring someone on, like a Teddy Bishop, or it might be a roles reverse. Teddy Bishop's on, and we need Alan Judge to come on.
I mean, we saw on Saturday some absolutely fantastic formation changes throughout the game, didn't we? From memory.
Slipped back into 4-4-2, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And
whenever we needed to.
And I mean, it completely changed the game. I think that Judge is going to start again on Saturday.
Yeah.
But again, is it one of those decisions Lambert needs to make and thinks, hang on, yeah, Judge done really well, but I'm going to chuck Bish in.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll wait and see.
We will. and I mean that would be a surprise from any team. Boys, we're getting to the end of the questions now. Last question tonight. Are we overly concerned about our league position going into the last 12 games?
No, because I think I was going to say earlier. I think last season, I think between third and about, I can't remember the exact position, it was about 15th. There was only separated by about 6 points at this sort of stage, even a bit later into the season. We just got to get down and play our game. It's clear to see that we can play really good football. You know, what was this? The 3-4-1 victories at home show that we've got the capability to be absolutely ruthless and take our chances. We just haven't seen it enough. No. Whereas you look at teams like Peterborough, where they can score 4 goals in 3 consecutive games. We just need to maybe find that ruthless streak. You know, none of the goals on Saturday would have won any beauty pageants. No. Not in the slightest, but the main thing is they hit in the back of the net. Apart from the last goal, which just trickled over the line, but that's a different matter.
Dennis assist.
Yeah. Storm Dennis assist, as Andy says there.
Yeah, but you know, we've got a decent run in. I wouldn't say this. Portsmouth's probably the only team I really worry about, or Coventry, maybe. But we've got them at home, luckily, not away. It's not.
Coventry have played away all season virtually, and have somehow pulled off this result, still only losing an amazing 3 games all season. It shows that they've got character.
Yeah. Well, it's just the important thing is not to underestimate anyone. You know, there's teams like I just said, Bristol Rovers, Oxford, Blackpool, even Fleetwood. They've all been up there now, either sort of stalling or chasing to get back where they were. Just don't underestimate anyone. Just be ruthless. It's cutthroat at this time of the season. We need to just maybe be a bit ruthless. We're not really known for that as a club. We know I think we're seen as quite a nice side to play against. Maybe we just need to fucking get the claws in and be a bit.
Yeah, you're right. I think we are. And to be honest, going into the last 12 games, I see 8 games at home, and I'm excited, but I'm not completely, got one track mind thinking that we're going to make it. Promotion, whether it be promotion playoffs, I am a bit scared because I've not seen Ipswich play well at home for a good 3-4 seasons. I'm scared, I'm shaking.
Do you need air, mate?
Are you worried, in the words of Mike Turner?
Yeah, I'm worried.
I mean, last few weeks we've gone from 1st to 7th. Don't see any reason why we can't go back. Maybe not 1st, 2nd, 3rd. We can't go back, and I've never gone to Portman Road over all these years and thought, I'm really worried about this game.
Yeah.
Not even that. Not even when we beat Arsenal. I thought we're on a good run, and we pulled it off. But I'm not worried about the home games. What will be, and I still think we'll do it.
Yeah, we've got some teams chasing on our asses, boys. As Fleetwood and Gillingham, but we need to be worried about. I'm going to lose sleep about these teams.
We can't let Gillingham catch us up.
We can't. This is why I'm losing sleep. We can't let Fleetwood. Yeah, they play well, but you'd argue they just. I can't have FC. Nappers coming down here. Head held high, can I?
Imagine Jordan Roberts fires Gillingham. Pips us in the last day.
Imagine that Jordan Roberts goes on loan to a team that are 18th in the league when he joins them and finishes above us. Yeah. It's just it's bound to happen, isn't it? But we do need to win our games, and we need to get going. Oxford on Saturday is a must win. Every game is a must win at this point.
I was going to say that we've been at everyone else's cup finals all season now. Every game we've got is a cup final.
Yeah.
For the rest of the season.
And it kind of it's more important to us now, isn't it? Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, we've got to crack on. If we don't, then we're down here for another season, and we all know what will happen after that.
Yeah, that's bad news.
I think the scary thing is that we don't know what's going to happen. It's the fear of the unknown. Will we have the same manager? I can't see Lambert staying. Well, I can see him staying. He's got a 5-year contract, but unless there's some miraculous clause, Anyway, we don't want to think about that. We want to focus on the game ahead. Get 3 points on Saturday.
3 points on Saturday is obviously the agenda going into this one. Thanks to everyone that's watched tonight. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us on our social media channels. All the links are below. Thanks to everyone who's submitted live comments tonight. Thanks to everyone that joins us every single week. We're on a journey together with Ipswich Town. Hopefully we can aim for automatic promotion this season. Saturday will be a big telling point as to how that goes. we've got to chase the pack, and I think we're completely capable of doing that. But until Saturday, we do not know. So until then, come on, you Blues.